It's funny, some of the most important things in our world are kind of hiding in plain sight. They aren't flashy or exciting, but they are absolutely essential. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of these unsung chemical heroes, ferrous sulfate. I mean, we've all been there, right? That deep, dragging kind of tired that even a whole pot of coffee can't seem to fix. Well, what if I told you that feeling isn't just, in your head? It's a real physical signal, and it points to a huge worldwide issue that our little hidden hero is perfectly designed to solve. That feeling of being totally wiped out, it's often a symptom of the single most common nutritional disorder on the planet, iron deficiency. It's a condition that leaves millions upon millions of people, quite literally, running on empty. It's so easy to dismiss these things, isn't it? Fatigue, headaches, feeling dizzy. We just blame it on stress or a bad night's sleep. But when they stick around, they can be a sign that your body just can't make enough healthy red blood cells to get oxygen where it needs to go. So, how do we fight back against this global energy crisis? Well, we turn to the absolute workhorse of iron therapy. A simple, super effective, and incredibly common compound that's been boosting the world's iron levels for decades. It's time to meet ferrous sulfate. When you break it all down, it's just a simple salt. You've got 1 part iron, 1 part sulfur, 4 parts oxygen, and it's usually hanging out with 7 molecules of water. That's it. And this ridiculously straightforward chemical is the #1 go-to treatment for iron deficiency all over the world.
Now, here's the crucial part. Not all iron is the same. Your body is actually, well, it's pretty picky. It loves to absorb iron in what's called the ferrous state, or Fe2+, but it really struggles with the ferric state, Fe3+. Ferrous sulfate delivers the goods in that perfect, ready-to-use Fe2+ form so your body can put it to work immediately. And of course, like any good hero, it's got a few secret identities. Chemists will call it iron 2 sulfate. That Roman numeral 2 is a little clue that it's the good ferrous stuff. But way back when, it had these really cool poetic names like green vitriol because of its beautiful blue-green crystals, or just copperas.
Okay, so we know what it is, but what actually happens after you take it? I mean, how does this simple little salt go on to fuel the very engine of your body? This right here is iron's whole mission. Its #1 job is to be the main building block for hemoglobin. And you can think of hemoglobin as the amazing protein that turns your red blood cells into a massive fleet of little oxygen taxis, zipping around your body, delivering oxygen to every single cell. The journey it takes is actually pretty direct. So you take the pill, and the acid in your stomach sets those precious iron ions free. Then they get absorbed in your small intestine, jump into the bloodstream, and get shipped directly to your bone marrow, which is basically the factory where brand new, fully loaded red blood cells are built. Now, while this stuff is incredibly effective, it does have its quirks. So let's think of this next part as the essential user's manual for making sure it works the way it's supposed to, and most importantly, that you're using it safely. So getting the most iron out of each pill is the name of the game. Taking it with some vitamin C, like in a glass of orange juice, is a classic move because vitamin C helps keep the iron in that easy-to-absorb state. But on the other hand, things like tea, coffee, and dairy products act like roadblocks. They can seriously get in the way and block how much iron your body can actually use. And look, we have to be real about the downsides. Ferrous sulfate is kind of famous for messing with your stomach. Nausea, cramps, and especially constipation are super common, and they're the #1 reason people just give up and stop taking their supplements. It's a tough balancing act. Okay, and here's a heads up about something that can be a little alarming if you're not expecting it: black stools. But don't panic, this is completely normal and totally harmless. It's just the leftover iron that your body didn't absorb passing through. It looks weird, but it's a good sign. Now, this is without a doubt the most critical safety warning. While it's a lifesaver in the right amount, an overdose is a genuine medical emergency. It's especially dangerous for little kids who might see the pills and think they're candy. Way too much iron can be severely toxic, so it has to be stored safely out of reach. So we've seen the vital role it plays inside our bodies. But believe it or not, the story doesn't end there. Ferrous sulfate leads this whole other secret life, with uses in industry that are just as important to our modern world. That's right, the same stuff that builds your blood also cleans your drinking water. In water treatment plants, it acts as something called a coagulant.
Think of it like a magnet for all the gunk in the water. It makes all the tiny impurities clump together so they can be easily filtered out. Pretty cool, huh? And it goes from our bodies to the body of the planet. In farming, ferrous sulfate is used to fix iron deficiency in plants. There's a condition called chlorosis that makes leaves turn yellow, and this stuff helps replenish the soil and make sure we get healthier crops. And to top it all off, it's also an artist. Ferrous sulfate is a key ingredient for making iron oxide pigments. You know, those are the things that give us all those rich, earthy colors you see in paints, dyes, and even in makeup. And really, that just sums it up perfectly. From building the hemoglobin that runs through our veins to purifying the water in our rivers, ferrous sulfate is truly a compound of immense and often hidden practical utility. It's the definition of a chemical workhorse. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other simple, unassuming compounds are out there, quietly playing these massive roles in our health and in our world, just waiting for us to notice? The more you look, the more you realize they're everywhere.